These are unprecedented times, but there have been challenges since the dawn of humanity. Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google, has aptly said for the class of 2020, you will prevail. We believe in this message. And if we find ways to thrive through this crisis together, we will prevail. Hello and welcome. I am Garima, and joining me on the dais today is Diksha Puri, a career coach and a lifestyle and wellness coach. Thank you so much for joining us, Diksha.
You're welcome.
Diksha, tell us your story. Why did you decide to become a career coach?
Okay. So long story short, I actually shifted to Delhi. I mean, it's almost now 10 years, and so when I came, I was like, I'll become an IAS officer, and that was like a short thing which every parent plan wants for their child, right?
Right.
And I was a kid since then. I mean, then I was a kid, so I was like, what do I want personally? Something I need to explore. And honestly, Garima, I did not have anyone, whom I could approach so that, I could find my answers that what do I want to do in life? What is that is meant for me? So there I started my journey that there is nobody who can help me out. So I started exploring my things, right? I did certain internships. I spoke to a lot of people. And then I thought that what is that I want to do? And then I came to this thing that, why not I do something wherein what I have struggled for, the future students and the working professionals or the youth does not have to struggle for that. So that is what my journey that began there. And I did my career counseling courses. I am a master's in philosophy, positive psychology course also have done. And then I got to know about ICF, which is International Certificate Body of Coach. So there I actually got to know the breakthroughs that how can you actually help the youth or anybody to get the transformation in their life. And that is how my journey began as a career coach, that I don't want that our Indian students face the same problem that I faced 10 years back. So yeah, so that is what that is how my career journey started, and career coach I became.
That's a very interesting story, Diksha. You decided to solve a problem. And that's a
Yeah.
very interesting take, very good approach towards choosing a career path. And how
Yeah.
important do you feel the role of internship is while pursuing a career in any industry?
See, there are two things. One, you get to know people, you start interacting with people, you get to know that what exactly is that the industry's demand, right? That is number one. And
True.
second is that, you know, we are not sure that what exactly we want. For example, if I am doing psychology or philosophy, is it something that I really want to do the whole life? So internships, it's obviously for some period, right? It can be for 3 months, 6 months. So it gives you an idea that yes, this is something that you can actually give your whole life to. So that is where the journey starts, and that is the reason I think internships play a very very vital role.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
Diksha, as much as I have gathered, you have successfully completed this 80 hours International Coach Federation approved coaching training program, and you have been certified as a coach now. What are some of the key insights that you gained during this course, and how would you describe your journey to us?
Okay. So if I talk about ICF, so it's a beautiful experience altogether for me, because everybody has something that makes them happy, and to me personally, talking to people, helping them any way I can, and bringing a smile on their face, that is what I love doing. And when I went for my coaching, I what I saw was that everybody has their own answers,
True.
but the only thing is that we are very lenient with ourselves. we dwell on the situations, but we don't think that what could be the probable solutions for that problems that we are into, right? And that is the number one insight that I got, that everybody has their own answers. It's just that, how they have been asked the questions. We don't ask tough questions from ourselves. We know that, right? Even I am a coach, I need some other coach to help me in any of the situational problems that I face. So that is where, I got to know that, okay, this is a major turning point which I got to know. Yeah.
Wonderful,
So
wonderful.
majorly, yeah. So majorly, it's that. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Because we need that guiding presence in our life, as you mentioned. Even a coach needs that. And
Right.
as we discuss this scenario, Diksha, there's so many people who struggle to find their passion. Maybe we have been lucky. We know what we want now. We found our calling somewhere. You decided to become a career coach because you wanted to solve a particular challenge. But
Right.
to those students, to those people, to those professionals who are struggling, still struggling to find what is it that they exactly want to pursue in life, what would your message be for them?
See, there are certain things behind that. One, that it's not very easy,
Yes,
to actually get that one thing which you can do for the rest of your life. It takes a lot of hard work. It actually does, right? So the number one thing is that don't settle for less. Right. So that is, we often feel that, all right, we have got a job now. Why do we hard work? I mean, why do we look for the things that, that is our calling? So, but then my only advice to all the young professionals out there, even if they're working, even if they're students or they are, the batch of 2020, to all the people out there, I would say that don't settle for less. Explore as much as you can. Talk to people, see, and a major thing, that listen to your inner voice, right? Listen to the gut feeling, because it never lies.
true.
So because I always knew that, I love empowering people, but then I had to do the exploration, and that is when I, got to know that yes, get gut feelings never lie. So yeah, so number one, that never settle for less. Keep exploring, keep hustling. Don't think that, I can't do any further. Don't think about that. When you start thinking that you can't do any further, that is when you start failing. But just try and just be on the path to find that thing, and
That's
you'll definitely, yeah, reach out to there.
Yes, absolutely. That's a very empowering message, Diksha. And now this might sound like a philosophical question, but I'm just curious to know, and I usually ask this to a lot of people. What is your idea of success?
What is my idea of success?
Yes,
See, it is very, very specific, right? It depends on person to person, that what is their idea of success. To me, it is that something which brings smile on your face, which you can do, like, when you are waking up in the morning, you don't have to feel that, oh God, I need to go to that job. Oh God, I have to do this thing now. No, it should come from your heart, that yes, wow, okay, I have got that call, I have got to help that person, I have got to do that. That is what success means to me. And also having a balance between work life, right? So it is very crucial, your family, your support system, your loved ones, right? So they matter a lot to
true.
me especially. And to find a balance between your work and your life, it is very crucial. So that is what success is to me, finding a balance between work and your life. And I think I have got that, touchwood, and just being on that path.
Lovely. That's really nice to hear. And Diksha, then there are days when we really don't want to, as you said, that energy is missing. On some days, that energy is missing. Every day is not
Right.
the same, right? How do you cope up during those days when you don't really feel like being the coach Diksha Puri and being a, helper for everyone? How do you get through those tough times?
Okay. So see, I am, very authentic. So if in case I have a call, or maybe let's say I have a we call with my clients, so I tell them upfront that see, I think that I am not in a good mood today, and I don't want to spoil your time because of that. So I really want that we shift this meeting to whenever you are convenient, and we do that then. And as of now, I need a break. So
That's
that is what
very
I
honest.
think. Yeah,
Yes, that's
I.
very honest reply, because sometimes we try to put up that show for too long a period of time, and that actually ruins the balance of things in a very
Right.
dramatic way.
Like for example, if in case you have to create an impact in others life, right, you have to find your balance first. If
Right.
you are not stable, so how can you can help other person who's sitting in front of you, who's
Very
seeking
true.
personal or professional help from you. So
Very
yeah,
true.
so for that you have to be very very authentic. That. Yeah.
That's very true, Diksha. And now moving on, help us understand the concept of NLP, because you have been working with so many organizations and helping the professionals enhance their productivity. What is this whole concept about? Help us understand.
Okay. Yeah. So see, NLP is neuro linguistic program. So that is that which is directly related to your neuro systems.
Okay.
That is, it is very internal and it's very very deep as well at the same time. So it took me a lot of time to understand that, but those are the breakthroughs that how can the other person get the breakthrough in their life. There are a lot of techniques out there for that. So I'll tell you about one very my favorite technique that I follow of NLP, and by that you'll understand the term also very well. So that is future pacing. For example, I'll just take a few minutes of yours. So that is, let's say I am talking to Garima and I say, okay, so there is some situational problem or maybe some goal related problem that you're facing, right? So I'll take you, there's complete process. You have to close your eyes and I'll take you to the future, right? That is when you have actually achieved that goal that you wanted to achieve,
Mm-hmm.
right? What you wanted you have already achieved then, and now I am asking you that what is your future self telling you to do now. Now when we are right now in the present, what is your future self telling you? And then Garima, it is actually life changing moment for the client sometime that, oh god, I already possess all the answers. And they start writing that these are the actionables that I'll be working on. It's a very rough idea that I've given you right now,
Mm-hmm.
but it works. It works like anything. It's a 30-40 minute long exercise.
Okay.
But yes, so that is one of the examples of how NLP works.
Okay, that's
Right.
really wonderful. For instance, say 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, how do we envision ourselves? Is that what it means in a nutshell? If
Um,
I would say.
you can say, but it depends that what exactly is your goal. For example, if your goal right now is to write that book,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's just a random example that
No, but
you are an editor
yes,
also, it's relatable to you.
yes,
So for example, you're writing a book, but you don't know, you're stuck somewhere. How to come out of that situation? For that we are doing that 30-minute activity or that exercise, and you start getting the answers out of it.
lovely,
So
lovely. I'll
any
definitely
situational
try.
activity.
Yes.
Yeah. Sure, sure, you can get back to me for that, I'll help.
Yes, Diksha. Now, Diksha, you are an alumni of Delhi University, and so am I. I'm not sure if you are
Yeah,
aware of this, but
no, I know that. Yeah.
but there are these very fond memories of university days that I carry home with me today.
Right.
What have been some of yours, and how has your college life impacted your, present life?
Right, right, right. It's a very touching topic actually. So because our journey starts from college, we are complete kids when we are in first year. So was I, and I hail from a tier 2 city, and shifting to Delhi, and meeting the potential people, or meeting the people who are not just intelligent, right? But also so active and so active in extracurricular also. So
Right.
matching with them was something very difficult for me in my first year. So because in our city, I mean, I'm from tier 2. People who are watching us from they are from tier 2, they can relate it, that our focus is that you have to get good marks in accounts, you have to get good marks in humanities. That is what our parents tell us, right? So when I went there in Delhi University, I found that no, Diksha, it's not just the only thing that is required in life. And first year, I participated in a lot of activities. I did a lot of things. And second year was a transformational year for me. And I could say that, I can now match up with the Delhi girls or with the Delhi people out there who's so active and smart, no doubt, right? So that was when which was very, very, transformational time for me. And the best moment that I could recall is when I became general secretary of my college, and I served my college for 2 years. And the teachers, I mean, obviously there are partiality, there are different things. So the teacher who was not in my favor in second year, third year, she was the one that it was Deeksha who could handle this thing. And that brought tears in my eyes, that I loved listening to that thing. So yeah, so that is how it came. And the learnings that I carry with me now is, my teachers told me that, Deeksha, with the positivity and the aura, we have, everyone has their own authentic aura and, positivity. If you carry that, you can even shake the mountains. But the only thing that I would suggest is be authentic, be you, and be so confident with yourself. Don't self doubt any given point of time in life. And that is what I carry with myself. And
Absolutely.
that is one advice. Yeah, I
That's
think it's
yes.
very relatable for everyone. Yeah.
It is indeed.
Yeah.
And this actually makes me curious, and I would like you to answer this because there are many students out there who would be able to relate with this story, as you said. Coming from a small town, we deal with a lot of cultural shift. The
We do.
situation is very different, the people around us are very different, there is a language barrier sometime, there is a cultural barrier sometime, all kinds of barriers, I would say. What would you suggest to the students who go through this transition? How would you help them?
For cultural thing, I would suggest that, just be authentic. So as I mentioned in the last statement also, I would suggest that just be authentic. And just be there in the moment when you are. You don't have to think about that what other people will think about you, that you are coming from that state. For example, there were students in my class who did not know how to speak good English, right? They were very, very, low on confidence. So that is what we always used to advise them, does not matter. What matters is, are you able to communicate? That is the only thing that matters. And that is what is advised to all the youngsters out there, that it does not matter where from you come. Just be authentic, just be you.
Absolutely, because that's a very empowering message for everyone who hesitates. Because it's a
Right,
very natural tendency. It is a very
right,
natural
right.
feeling. We all go through this transition, and I think students will be able to understand that how important it is to be who you are, and rest
Right,
everything else falls into place, as you
right.
mentioned correctly.
Right. And it's not easy, no doubt. People say that it's not easy. But when we can do, you can also do. It's
Yes,
it's it's achievable, right? It's not impossible, it's still achievable.
true,
Yeah.
very true. And Diksha, as far as I know, you are also a certified yoga instructor, and yoga is a term which symbolizes a lot of things. It's not just a physical exercise, right?
Right.
It has a lot to do with emotional and mental well being. How would
Right.
you explain that to our audience?
Right. So, years back when I was not into yoga and I was a gym freak, I used to feel that, the songs and everything, it's very good. I love going to gym. But when I came into yoga, so that was like life-changing moment for me. Why? Because I could relate and I could, sense it within me. When I close my eyes, when I do pranayama, when I do meditation, I can feel that, you are being in the present moment. So see, from where stress, anxiety, depression, from where does that come? It comes from either when you are, just dwelling on the problems you faced in the past, right? You feel that I had to achieve that, but I am still not able to achieve that. It gives you stress and thinking about the future, that I have to do that. What is this happened? Coronavirus has come. I'm not able to go out. I'm not able to take my classes. This is all future related things, no doubt very important, but it is hampering your present, right? So you can take courses, you can take online courses. Coursera is there, Udemy is there. You can do courses from online sources that are available. Why do we have to just dwell on, the situations which are not in our hand?
True.
So that is one thing. But then coming back, of course, to the topic that we started. So yoga, I think, is very, very important for all the people, be it of any age, youth, right? Kids, adults, old age, everyone can do yoga in any form. So yeah, it's very, very important, especially these days, to boost your immunity and to manage your stress. Yoga is that one thing that I would highly, highly recommend to everyone.
And
And
this,
if in case you want, I can mention a few, yogasanas and pranayams also for the audience.
please go ahead if you want to talk about
Okay.
it right now.
Right, right, right. So see, when we talk about yogasanas, so anybody who is listening to us right now, I would say for stress management, you have got Shashankasan, which is very important, right? You can do that. Bhujangasana is there, which again is, very, very important to manage all your stress inside. And then after that, there is Parvatasana, which is again very beneficial. And it can be like anybody can Google and they'll get to know about those. And for immunity, especially these days, I would suggest pranayam, right? Which is Anulom Vilom is there, and Kapal Bhati is there, right? And third is Brahmari Pranayam, which is my favorite pranayam. And it's nothing, you just have to inhale, and you have to produce humming sound. That
Mhm.
is more sound you have to produce. And Garima, it gives vibration to the whole brain of yours, right? And it gives you so much of concentration powers. You can do the thing that you are doing with complete concentration and being authentic. I mean, being 100% in the situation you are. So Brahmari Pranayam, I would suggest that everyone should definitely see about.
I
And
have
for meditation, there are certain ways. Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
no, I was saying that I have taken my notes today from you, and I'm definitely
Okay.
going to check out these poses. Yes, please continue. What were you saying?
Yeah, so for meditation, there are certain ways. I mean, there are so many of techniques, and my favorite has been the Indian technique, the Buddhist technique only. Though I know mindfulness, I know loving kindness, which is very, very famous in USA. So I know various techniques, but Buddhist technique, which is Vipassana, is the best technique so far in the whole world. And simply, what people can do is just observe their breathing
Mm-hmm.
and the inhalation and exhalation, and it actually helps to be in the present situation. Like,
Okay.
it helps to be aware of the situation you are into, so it helps in that way.
Definitely. And talking about the current situation now, as we have been discussing this problem with many other people as well. Now, COVID 19 has been a very different scenario for all of us. It's just entirely different. We have never experienced anything like this before. And talking about the oil and gas industry specifically, this sector is one of the hardest hit sectors. There have been so
Right,
many job losses and layoffs. It's very disturbing. It's very disturbing.
right.
Now, the class of 2020 that is graduating this year, what would you tell them to focus upon? Because they are anxious, they are confused, they are nervous, because probably this is not the right time to enter into the industry. What would be your message for them?
Right. Sure, it's very, very important, no doubt. The question is, thank you for asking this question, Garima. So, see, the situation, no doubt. I mean, for anybody, it's really difficult, and especially, for the people who are actually facing it in the hospitals these days, and the doctors, hats off to them, right? And secondly, it is difficult, no doubt, but we are making it worse. How? Because we are just being thinking continuously about the situation. That is what the students are also doing, whom I have a conversation with. That what do we do? What is that future holds for us? Should we go for MBA? Should we go for jobs, or etc. and etc. Right? But what they have to think is that what is there in their hands right now, right? Number one thing, just look for the skills that you want to grow into. For example, if somebody is from sales and marketing, somebody who feels that they are very extrovert, right, they can make a very good career in marketing and sales, right, because it comes naturally to the people who are extroverts, right? So somebody who's an extrovert, first they have to look that what skills they have. I mean, what is the aptitude they have? What are their strengths, right? Or maybe personality type. So there are several personality type with several people, right? Somebody can be an extrovert, somebody can be an introvert, right? Somebody is having, let's say, there is feeling, which is in a personality type, and there is thinkers, which is a personality type. So somebody who loves, being into data, who loves playing on computer. So they are the people who are thinkers, right? People like me who are, or maybe like you as well, who are very compassionate, who are full of empathy, and they think about people who are, other people. They keep on thinking about them also. So they are the people who are feeling people, right? So now what I want to say with this is that people or students have to actually acknowledge that what exactly they are, what are the personality traits they have, right? So we do certain psychometric tests for students. So there are certain psychometric tests which are available completely free of cost on internet as well. If students can't do it with our help, or they can't, because right, these days not everybody can afford a coach or a counselor as well. So there are big five is there, which is a test which is very famous for career counselors, or I mean the students who come to career counselors. They can Students can go and search that what is their personality type according to the aptitude, the strengths, right, the interest levels that they have. They can search for the courses which are there according to their interest. They can look for the courses which are available free of cost in the market, right? Coursera, Udemy, as I mentioned, EDX is there. Free of cost, the courses are available. Do that course, right? Look for internships, look for what you want, right? And Big Five and Personality 16 can help you out to find that what exactly is what you are meant, right? Do that course. And also second thing, don't depend on the market which is there right now. So create your own space. That is the second advice, which is completely related to the first advice, that is start learning a new course, right? Because when you have good skills, for example, if somebody is very good into content, right, only then they can become content writers, or editors, or in the skill which they have, right? So the number one, learn that skill. Number two, don't be dependent on the third party or any company. Gig economy is what is the future all about. Gig economy, right? So that is like the companies or the HRs would not be looking for students or for the people who are looking for full-time jobs. 9 to 5 is going to be, completely vanished. Not right now, but in the coming years. So they don't have to just think about that what 2020 is there to bring them for, right? They have to think about the future as well. So when they actually learn that skill, they can go for gig economy. That is, the companies would be hiring on contractual basis. The freelancers they'll be hiring, and if you're good in that skill, no company will say no to you, right? Do internships, which will help you out in maintaining your place, and maybe because companies need certain kind of experience, they will not go for a fresher. For example, again, there are so many of the people out there who have lost their jobs, right? They are well experienced in the market, unemployed. You are also a fresher, you are also unemployed. A company is definitely going to pick the one who is, who has got a lot of experience, not you. So how do you actually come out as somebody who stand out? For that, you need to do courses, need to do internships, and thirdly, you need to find your own ways. That is gig economy.
True.
That is what my advice is. I mean, I think I took a little more time, but this, if students actually do, it will help them, in a great manner.
Absolutely. And Diksha, how important is networking and personal branding during this time? Adding to the points you already mentioned about
Right,
learning new skills and doing internships, how
right.
important is networking as well? And also building your social media presence. How important
Right.
is
Sure. It's actually very, very important, very crucial, especially in the testing times like these. Reason being, for the students, they'll not get a job, or I mean, any kind of placement from the school or college they are into, from the B school or from the college. They'll not get that. For that, they have to hustle hard now, right? If we had been in 2019, this must not have been the scenario. But now, networking and social media presence is very important. Reason being, uh, you have to reach out to people yourself. Nobody will come to you that, this is the opportunity which is there in the market. You have to, again, the same thing, create your own space. How do you do that? That is through networking. And for all the students and for the professionals, I know that LinkedIn is a very, 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 beneficial platform for all the youngsters and for the professionals out there, right? So engagement, I would suggest that engagement is very important. For example, if somebody has done, economics honors, or let's say English honors, and they are looking for jobs in their particular domain, start having connection with those people who are in the profile already. Send them requests, and have interaction with them, learn from them. Tell the companies that you are ready to give free time. I mean, you are ready to without stipend, you're ready to start internship. Does not matter, right? It's I mean, it's far, far better than just sitting idle at your place and thinking about what next could be there. Right.
true?
So that is what my suggestion would be, that be it LinkedIn or be it networking. When we say networking, it is highly there on LinkedIn these days, right? People are so active these days. Emails are there, so just shoot random emails to the companies where you want to go for an internship, right? And if you say that I am looking forward to this, and if you're drafting the mail so beautifully, that why do you want to go for that job, right? And they will give you stipend. Even, I mean, even if you say that I am ready to come for free, but when they see the caliber and the enthusiasm that you have, they'll give job to you, right? So that is how important the networking and LinkedIn is. And also, I would say that at least do your bit. Of course, nobody knows that what would happen. Nobody knows, right? But if we don't do anything, nothing would come to us. So yeah, so be hopeful, and just do your bit, do hard work and smart work at the same time. So
That
that's what my advice is.
And you are right. LinkedIn is a very, very effective tool. During this time, we have hired so many interns through LinkedIn. So
Right.
having a strong presence on LinkedIn actually helps. And this is our message for our audience at this point of time. Build your social media profiles, stay active on your social media. And that does not mean sharing your daily activity pictures on
Right.
stories, your Instagram stories about what you're eating and how your dog is doing. It's not about,
Right.
it's about who you are. Social media can also reflect who you are as an individual,
Right.
and it can also reflect your professional skills and expertise. So Diksha has rightly pointed out a very, very strong element in your job search strategy, as we can say. Now, moving on, Diksha, COVID 19 has also put a spotlight on digital, because most of us are in lockdown and we are connecting through social media platforms, as we
Right.
discussed. Video interviews, video resumes, these are also the next thing now, next big
Right.
thing. So, what is your take on that, and how would you help students prepare towards this new reality that we all are adjusting to?
Right. Okay, yeah, it's a very, very important question these days, especially. So students, they're not ready to face the camera, first of all. Like, for example, if I conduct webinars, I say that 10 times in a webinar of 1 hour that please, on your screen, be on the camera, come and be confident. So first of all, whatever you are creating, right, whatever like video message or video presentation you are giving, or like video interview you are preparing for. So what you have to do is, first of all, be confident in what you are saying. Prepare. It's not that you are randomly coming in front of camera and just saying what you have done in the past. Think of it as a resume. We spend a lot of time to create a resume, right? So why don't you spend time to create that what exactly would be the pointers that you'll be putting on that. So that is one advice, that prepare well and then come on the screen, practice, right? Practice. Don't just sneak once and say that yes, this is final. No, it takes a lot of time to actually come out with a good script and with a good presentation. And thirdly, background noise, right? And the background thing, it all matters. And if you say that video, I just have to create a video, it's not that. You have to be professional, right? The way you say, your presentation skills matter a lot, right? So these are the little things which matters a lot to the employer or to the interviewer, right? They would see that are you in professional clothes. Make sure that you are dressing up well, you are presentable there, right? Second, prepare again. And third, look for a space where there is no disturbance. It should not be that a lot of sound is coming from the back and you're just creating the video. It will not sound professional at all. And second, it will not give a reputation also that what is this, the person is not at all sincere. That is what the interviewer will think. So these are the points that you should keep in mind for sure.
Absolutely. And Diksha, what is your take on the role of soft skills and emotional intelligence? Because as we have observed, a lot of emphasis in the past has been given towards IQ, but people do
Right.
not talk much about how important it is to be actually smart with your emotions. So, how would you describe the role of soft skills and emotional intelligence in the present times?
Okay. So, see, if we talk about soft skills, it has always been there, that it holds a very important place. If you are a very good, let's say software engineer, but if you're not able to present yourself, you'll not get that job, right? So it has been very important since ages that soft skill matters a lot. But now it has become a need, right? Earlier it was just an add-on. Now it has become a need. How? Because everything is getting transferred or shifted to digital platforms, right? If you have to have a word with any of your colleagues or any of your seniors in your office, so for that you have to be first of all very wise with the words that you choose. The effective communication, if it is not there, it it can ruin the whole scenario, right? So it is very, very important, especially these days because of the digital platforms. And number two, also, it holds a very importance, very much importance in your life. Why? As I mentioned about the the software engineer example. So same way, it is soft skill is important in any role that you go for, right? And if we talk about EQ, as you mentioned very beautifully, that IQ was always there, right? And we focused completely on IQ. But now the time is changing, and with IQ, no doubt, IQ cannot be beaten. But when we talk about EQ, it holds very much importance. Reason being, these days, what is happening is everybody is shattered. I mean, not shattered, but is suffering one way or the other. We are not sure that what other person must be going through in their lives, right? So EQ plays a role there. Like for example, if you are in any role, and if you are customer centric, you can relate to other people's problem, right? And you are good with people, so that will give a J curve to the business automatically, or the company automatically, because customers, as we say that customers are god. If you take care of your customers, you get all the business, right? So EQ is very important in that manner, especially now when we are all in these times. So yes, that is the important.
And this actually reminds me of a quote I read some time back. I'm forgetting the author's name, but the quote says, soft skills can make or break your career. And
Right.
you actually pointed out the elements very correctly here, that IQ, there needs to be a fine balance, but yes, you'll get the job through your hard skills, through your technical acumen, but to survive through that job and emerge successfully, your soft skills and your emotional intelligence will play a very, very crucial role.
Right. Right.
So now moving on, Diksha, in your journey as a career and wellness coach, what are some of the most memorable client experiences that you have had? If you would like to share some of them with us.
Right. So when I talk about career coaching or wellness coaching, so career coaching, I have a huge examples that like wherein the people have got, the students or the professionals have got transformation in their life, and and the results have been so shocking for them sometimes. So to take one example, what comes instantly in my mind is, there was a girl, and she worked for some organization just for 1 year, and she was into accounts, and she did BCom. So she came to me that I want to clear MBA. I mean, I want to go for MBA, and I am not sure that I'll be able to clear CAT. So I'll be able to crack it or not, I'm not sure. So I was like, okay, so what is the problem? So she was like, I don't know how to crack it, please help me out through that. So I was like, okay. So after a few sessions, Garima, what we found was that she never wanted to do an MBA. Right. She wanted to become, I think it was social media ambassador or content writer. So because she had huge interest in that, and she was like, I love writing. I have written these many, books as of now, but I've never given it for publishing because I'm scared to do that. My parents want to see me in Google, working for Google or Amazon. So how do I tell them that I want to be a content writer? It's a small, I mean, according to her, it was like it was not that of value. So I was like, why do you have to think that? You are in, you know, what days you are into. It's the modern era and the new age careers you have. So why do you have to think about it? And it now she is working in very good, brand, and I'll not name the person and the brand. So she's working with a very good company and the organization. She's so happy that she's working as into content team, and she's handling a team of around 10 people. So I mean, that is what brings happiness in our life and on there as well. Yeah, so that was one of the examples that brought me to, I thought that I would share. So otherwise, what happens is, we think that our parents have told, let's do this, or maybe our siblings have told that do that or do this and become an engineer or a doctor and follow that path. We don't realize that what exactly we want from our life, right? That is what, and I have a lot of examples like this. It was just one of them, right? And yeah, so it was when we talk about career coaching, and that is what I really want to change upon. That, I'm sure, because you have been into, working era since long, right? So you know that how people are there, like not everybody is happy with jobs that they're doing, right? It's just a job, it's not their career. That is what we want to change for the millennials out there, that how can they, start a journey wherein they are satisfied with the work that they do, and that comes from their inner selves, right? So that was one of the things. And if we talk about wellness, so it's a major of the case that comes. I mean, now it has been transforming when it comes to yoga or any other form. So people used to think that it's just for the physical fitness. Yoga is just for the physical fitness. And I explained them that, physical fitness matters till the time you're healthy, right? It's not the zero figure that you have to attain. It's what matters is you have to be healthy, and more than that, what matters is your mental health and your emotional well-being. If you're healthy or happier inside, it will reflect on your face, right? So that is what they actually felt after taking the wellness coaching and the classes that we used to have. So yeah, so that is what I that comes to my mind right now about
That's
the exam.
wonderful because you are right. It's very disheartening to observe sometimes when people are working just for the sake of working. Their heart
Yeah.
is not into it. And I have been there too. And it can be
Okay.
heartbreaking. It can be heartbreaking because you just start doubting yourself so much. You don't really understand what's happening and how to get through this. And on the other hand, you are also receiving a regular paycheck and you are somewhere satisfied with that, and you
Yeah.
fear that what if this paycheck stops coming into my account? What do I do then? Will I get a job that I really want or wish to pursue? So yes, there are so many questions that come into our minds, and it's really hard to take a decision. But what is important is what I feel, and as you also said, it's very important to follow your heart. It will take time, but it's a very bold decision that you make, and for the rest of your life you will not regret that you made that.
Right.
So
Right. True. True. And I was reading WHO report yesterday, wherein it was mentioned that 95% of the students or the youth, 95% of the youth, they are in severe stress. Can you believe that? I was like, how is it? I mean, why, for, and what is the reason? So the only reason behind that is career dissatisfaction. Age group, people of the age group of 18 to 34. These are the people who were there in those brackets, and it was like 95% of them are in stress. So yeah, so it itself mentions that, it is high time that we change on the way we have been living in the past years, right? And it's time to change the way we make our like careers.
absolutely. And so much of this has its roots in our childhood as well. How we see people around us, how we see our family members doing in their career, their friends, their relatives. So, talking about childhood, how do you feel, Diksha, that childhood shapes one's career path? And talking about your childhood memories, if you had to mention one memory from your past, what would that be that has really shaped you in the person you are today and the career you have chosen?
Okay. Okay, I think I need to think about this. And like when I talk about my childhood, it has been a very smooth journey, and I have been into that, I have been hearing this from my parents, grandparents, because my whole family is into education only. So they have been telling that what matters is, your marks, and you have to have good grades to get good universities, to make good career. And that is what I had been doing the whole life till my 12th standard. As I mentioned that, my journey started after my 12th. So yeah, so but what I miss when I talk about my childhood is, the carefree life that we used to live. I mean, it suddenly changes once you are in your till your 12th, or in your early days of your life, that is your childhood. You are very carefree. You don't think that what will happen if we don't do this, what will happen, and what will future bring to us. Now, when we see, we are all the time thinking about what will happen, what next. We don't think about the present moment at all. So that is what I think I have, you know the positive side of my childhood, that what I had and what I really would want, that I could have it and can also pass it on to all the youngsters and the youth out there, that just do what you want to do, and trust me, you don't have to work a single day. We have been hearing this, that do what you want to do and you don't have to work a single day in your life. And yes, so that is the whole thing. And also, I think what comes to my mind is being hopeful. So when we were in our when we were in our childhood, so we were always hopeful about the situations, that wow, this can happen, always energetic, enthusiastic. And now, when we grow up, what we have seen is adults mean that you are, you know, just being like this, and you don't have to smile more. No, not smiling, but you have to be very professional. It does not say that you are professional. So I mean, I want to change these kind of norms which have been there, even in the industries or in colleges and everywhere. So that is what I believe should be there and has to be.
That's very true, actually. Growing up, we do not look forward to the possibilities, but we discuss more and more about what problems can occur if we do this.
Right.
What are the cons? What problems it will land me into? And these this approach has a very spiral effect on our approach
Mm.
towards any new thing. And as you said, we lack that energy growing up. That
Right.
energy is just gone. That enthusiasm is not there, but yes, that needs to be there. As you said, changing these set patterns is very, very important. And I
Right.
am with you on that, because that's a very, very important thing that you mentioned here. And
Right.
now, Diksha, this lockdown situation has been very difficult for most of us, but everyone
Right.
is dealing with it in a different way. For some, it is a relief that they are getting to spend some time with their families, but for some, it is not good. The picture does not
Right.
look good. They are getting anxious, they're getting depressed, and because they are locked with their families in a very toxic environment. So situation is very different. If we It's a
Right.
very relative experience, I would say. One size fits all is not the case here. So how would you help people cope up during this time?
Right. Okay. So, see, problems are everywhere, right? And I mean, there are times when there are good memories also, or there are good things also which we face, and there are bad moments also that come, and it's a part of life, right? So just thinking about that, nothing is happening wrong, right. We can think about that, what is here in the moment which is going right, right? Even if we are in a toxic environment, what is that one thing which can actually help us in moving ahead, thinking about the next moment, and the next day what can happen. So being aware of the situation, that is the only thing we can suggest to the people. And also, uh, I think sometimes it gets very specific also, that what is the exact problem, so
Right.
that could be worked upon. But overall, if we say, so it's the only thing that just be in the moment and think that what could be the solution, right? Instead of just thinking that I don't want this, I want lockdown to, just get finished ASAP and we move out, we go out to meet our friends. But we can see that what is that which is making the things toxic, right? Or problematic. What is that which is not working out? Right, there is always, I mean, stress is always of two type also, right? There is always a moderate stress which is good for everyone, right? But of course, if it is like very much, so we need to check out that what exactly are the problems which are coming in. So
Right.
yes, so that is the only advice, that think of what exactly is making the situation worsen day by day and working upon that. I think talking to the other individual can solve most of the problems that we face in our lives, right? For example, I mean, I have a friend, uh, she is like, Diksha, I am not able to cope up with my family. They are advising me to do this and do that, and I'm not used to this. I'm an individual person who can take my own decisions. What do I do? So I was like, sit with them, talk to them, ask their expectations, and then tell what you want from life, what you want to do, and then come on a similar, ground. Come on the same page and see that where you can sacrifice a bit, where they can sacrifice a bit, and you come on a stable position. And just not think of the situation. Otherwise, it will keep on, giving you problems all the time.
Very true. Very true. It's all about identifying the problem and then working
Right.
together towards a resolution. And
Right.
what would be your final message for our community, Diksha, and especially for the students, especially for the younger generation who's
Right.
very apprehensive at this point
Right.
of time? What is your message for them?
Be hopeful. Good things can also happen. Of course, it will happen, right? It takes time, but no situation is permanent. This too shall pass, right? It has been very famous quote, and we have been hearing it, right? And the other thing that I would suggest is, don't just think about the problem. Think about what could be the solution to that. Start writing journal, right? Write about the things that you want to talk to or you are facing problems with, because sometimes writing only can solve all the problems. You'll start getting clarity in your mind that what exactly is bothering you. So what happens is, I'll tell you, Garima, that when we think that this is the problem, this is the problem, and when I start writing, I used to write down. I have a personal diary that I maintain since when I was in 10th standard. So what happens is, when I start writing, then it comes to mind that, Disha, there is no problem. It's just the overthinking that is disturbing you, right? So my suggestion is, start writing journal, right? Second, talk to people, talk about your problems, speak up, be vocal. Don't think that you'll be judged. The major problem that our youngsters are facing these days, the major cases that I face is not that they are facing a lot of problems in their career, but that I would be judged.
The fear
What
of
will
being judged.
Right, right. What will those people tell me? What should I do? These are the things that are troubling. So don't think about, what others will say. Just do what you want to do, and also don't self-judge. Don't self-judge at all. Be confident, be authentic, be you. Yeah. That is what my advice would be.
That's a beautiful and very strong message, I would say, because most of the time we are overthinking, we are judging ourselves, we fear what others would say. But it's time you get rid of all of this because it's time to move
Right.
on and do something great with your life. Thank you so much, Diksha, for joining me today and sharing your journey, your beautiful journey as a career coach. And I'm so grateful and I'm feeling fortunate that I connected with you and I got to know how you have helped people through some very, very disturbing points in their life. Because that is something we look forward to, that is something we look upon people, that is to help and
Right.
to help others heal. It's not an easy job because as an individual, I'm sure you are also going through some major battles in your own life, but at the same time you are helping others deal with theirs. And that's a very, very beautiful approach towards life, and I'm really, really thankful that you're doing this. And I'm sure you are here to do some amazing things and some great things for people. And keep on doing this, keep on shining that light on people, just keep on doing that. All my best wishes.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, Karima. I'm overwhelmed right now. And there's only one thing that I would like to say, and I've noticed in you since day one, that is, you have a very, very beautiful aura around you. And, the smile is very shiny. I mean, it's so, beautiful that anybody can smile seeing you. So, yeah, thank you so much for inviting me. And it is actually a pleasure to, discuss about these things that I've done with you. And thank you for all the beautiful questions. I hope it brings value to people's lives.
It will. I'm sure it will. And thank you so much for that compliment. That means a lot to me. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.